And howdy! Ta-da! Hey, I am. Should have had my angle fixed before I started, but I thought it was fixed, but it was. Anyway, I digress. Hey, ta-da! Hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. Ta-da! Hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. Oh my gosh. Hey, I've got this hip hop Opus 2 IPA from Springfield Brewing Company here. I had this at the brewing company when Stuart was in town over Thanksgiving week. And I tried to buy a six pack then. Okay, so a little glare there. There we go. That's better. But they didn't have. They were out of them at the time. So I just got this. They just got them back in. So I wanted to get some. It's a very good IPA. I'll pour a little here. How that pours. Oh, very nice. It's got an incredible nose. Very fruity. Uh, mm. Oh gosh, it's they don't give you the numbers on this, and I asked both the server and the bartender that was helping me, and neither one of them knew. Now I'm gonna go on a little rant here. Both of these guys were extremely friendly, and they were trying to help, but they just didn't know. So if I have a complaint about the Springfield Brewing Company, it's this: you're a brew pub. You know what? You're not going to be taken in seriously as a brew pub until you start acting like one. Uh, when they first opened up back in '89, they were good, and but then the craft beer world kind of evolved, and they didn't. They were kind of known more as a showplace for the Mueller company that owned them at the time. But they had an ownership change, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. And since then, they really have stepped up their beers, and they're they've done some great things like this one right here. That's just amazing, actually. Uh, but here's the thing. Okay, maybe I take the numbers thing a little too serious. I want to know the stats. I want to know the ABV. I want to know the IBUs. Maybe I take that more serious than many. But most beer geeks do want to know these things. But here's the thing. You've got a bartender there who was extremely friendly and was trying to help, so I don't want to get him in trouble anyway. But the thing of it is, he didn't know what his products were. When I asked a couple questions about the beer, really all he told me was, well, it just came on and I don't know that much about it. You're a brew pub. You know what I mean? You're a brew pub. If that's what your specialty is, then your brewmaster should be educating these guys. There should be classes. I mean, there should be paperwork. These guys should be able to, to be like a sommelier. I mean, they need to be able to tell you uh, everything about these beers, because that's what you should be selling. I mean, unless you're just out to be a glorified sports bar that sells beer made in house, your people really ought to know, and I don't understand why you're not going that extra mile. Because this beer is fantastic, man. And in fairness to Springfield Brewing Company, they're not the only brew pub I've had this issue in. There's a few out there, but it's always in these brew pubs that don't seem to take the beer seriously. Because at Springfield Brew Pub, you do see a lot of Bud Light drinkers, so it does feel at times to be a glorified sports bar. You got the game on, you got stuff going on. Oh, by the way, we do have our beer if you like it. But your staff should be trained in your product. They should know every beer you have on tap at that moment. That they should know the numbers on this stuff, and you should be making sure they've got them. If they don't know by heart, if it's not in their memory, you guys should have some books where these guys can go back and say, "Oh yeah, this has this hop in it, or this has that hop. This one uses this malt or that malt or this specialty." It just drives me crazy. If you don't do these things, you're not going to be taken as a top tier brew pub. You're just not, and that's kind of the problem. That was the problem in the past, is that the real serious beer geeks aren't going to take you serious. They're going to get their beer somewhere else. But if you want to bring it, hey, if you're happy with the Bud Light drinker coming in there and drinking the occasional better than Bud Light beer, hey, that's fine. But if you really want to be a serious brew pub, you really got to start educating your people. These guys should know every beer they have. There is no reason why a bartender there should know every beer he has. He should know every stat, and you guys should be teaching it. Not only should you be doing it, you should be wanting to do it. Oh, good gravy. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's my that's my rant for today. I have a occasional serious moments, and I don't mean to be hard on Springfield Brewing Co because I really do think they're stepping up. But things like that drive me crazy. There just seems no reason for these things not to be happening to me. But back to the beer. Hey, this thing is fantastic. I loved it, loved it, loved it when I was at the brew pub, and it's fantastic. And again, I'm frustrated that I don't know the numbers on it. It is very light, so I'm guessing it's probably not much more than 5. There is IBUs, ABV. It's between 5 and 5.5. I don't even think it's even close to 5.5, but I'm going to say that. IBUs, I'm going to guess it's between. Let me take a drink and I'll tell you. I'm taking a shot in the dark, but I'm going to say about 45. May not be quite that heavy. This is more of a light session IPA. It's not that great big in your face IPA. More like the Founders has one out there in Lagunitas. It's more of that kind of daytime IPA they kind of call them. Or Training Wheels IPA, but it's got such great flavor. That's what's great about this beer. This is a beer that you really could sit and session a lot of, and it's got just extreme flavor. It's just brilliant. So I mean, not everything. When I talk about better beers, not every just because it's a higher ABV doesn't make it better. They're taking a step up by making beers like this. Oh. Oh wow, it is good. I'd wondered how it would translate to the bottle because on tap it was just gorgeous, and it still is. Just the hops in this thing are just beautiful. And I wish I knew what they use because they're not telling me, and I'm a little irritated by that. Son of a gun! But the truth is, it's a great beer, and you should go find it. But again, I mean, I can't be the only guy that's frustrated by this. I mean, in a brew pub, it'd be like if you're in a, you're in a, you're in a place that specializes in burritos, and they don't know the ingredients of the burritos. You know what I mean? If you've got or a place that specializes in pies, if you've got a specialty item, it's a brew pub. Beer is your specialty item. Your people should know everything there is to know about your beer. And if they don't, then it's your fault for not teaching them. So I don't understand why there's not regular training meetings. I don't understand why every time why sheets aren't printed off and they've got a little book they can go to. It just does not make sense to me. And the only explanation is that you're really not trying to be a first class brew pub, but you've got the ability to be. You've got the beers. Step it up a little bit. Give these people the training they need. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the both guys that tried to help me today were extremely helpful. They just did not know the answer, and they had no idea where to get it. And I think that was the frustrating part to me. Not knowing the answer is okay, but you should know where to get it, and they had no clue how to even get the answer. So, whew. Okay, that's my rant. Hey, but this Opus IPA is beautiful. So, and the color is just fantastic. It is light, it's not a serious hophead brew, but the flavor is just fantastic. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's wonderful. Ah! So, hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'm gonna get out of here. Ooh.